What is up, everybody? It's me, Don Weeb here, with my first ever 3-hour long scripted original movie. I've been talking about this for a while on different announcements on other videos and things, but here it is. This is Act 1 for the original movie A Leaf on the Wind, Naruto the movie. So this will be split into 3 large parts, as I've already talked about. Hope everyone likes this original story, and now let's get on with the show. If you all want more videos from me, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Now, on with the show. We begin the scene as we imagine the beautiful village of Konoha coming into view. We can see a mixture of bright yellows, oranges, and red leaves flowing and hovering throughout the villa. Inside, we see Hinata Uzumaki, pregnant with herself and Naruto's first child. Naruto and Hinata are relaxing on the couch, enjoying the cool fall air, while Naruto makes Hinata laugh as he plays with her hair. After a while, the couple decide to go for a walk outside, and Naruto is enjoying the light touch of the crisp fall air, as it brushes and combs throughout his hair, causing it to flow around his face. Naruto as well as Hinata greet the passerby villagers as they walk towards Ichiraku's ramen shop. Ever since Naruto had become the hero of the Leaf Village after the Great Ninja War, his favorite food had become immensely popular, and so the shop was absolutely flooding with business. Luckily, Naruto always had a specially reserved spot just for him that was made in his honor after his contributions in the Fourth Great Ninja War. Naruto and Hinata then walked into the shop together. Naruto orders as usual, and Hinata orders the same. She smiles at Naruto as they both clasp their hands together and say, "Bless this food." After Naruto and Hinata are finished with their meal, which was as delectable as always, Naruto reaches down and pulls out his green froggy wallet. He pulls out the yen that's needed for his receipt, and as he's about to put his wallet away, a photo falls out of the wallet pocket. Naruto bends over and picks up the frayed photo. As he sees the faded color of the photo, he feels of himself, Sasuke, Sakura, and Kakashi Sensei. Naruto goes back to that same day, as he first took the bell test. Naruto steps into a rope trap as he leaps for that precious bell, and Naruto suddenly finds himself feel blood rush to his head. He quickly steps out of his daydreaming. Hinata grabs Naruto by the hand, and as they leave, just as Naruto tucks the photo away in his wallet, Naruto turns around and waves goodbye to Mr. Ichiraku as he says goodbye in his typical loud tone. As Hinata and Naruto are walking on their way back home, they finally make it back and Naruto opens the door, allowing Hinata to walk inside. Hinata breathes out a sigh of relief as she lays down in her chair, and Naruto falls down on the couch. "Hey, are you feeling okay? With going out, you know?" Naruto asks with genuine concern in his voice. The bright orange sunlight complements the assorted colors of trees that make up the palette of their balcony window view directly behind Naruto outside. "Yeah, I'm fine. It's been really fun having more time to spend together," Hinata says in a softer tone. Naruto then yawns as he rests his chin on his hand. Hinata then also yawns in turn as she closes her eyes, while she drags Naruto to bed. As Naruto falls into a deep sleep, laying comfortably on his pillow, suddenly, the soft blanket of nightfall returns to Konoha. As we see Naruto beginning to twist and turn in his sleep, Naruto looks down to see himself completely covered in blood. Dark red, thick blood, coated with himself as well as his entire body is covered with red chakra, completely drowning him in it. Naruto looks up from this despair and this disgusting image to see a dark figure with long ears and 9 long snake-like appendages sticking and flowing around him. Naruto then hears mixed pitches of high and low laughter, as well as crying and screams of agony and pain as he passes out from the horror. Suddenly, we hear a loud crash as Naruto turns and falls off the side of his bed. He rubs his head as he groggily wakes up, while Hinata rushes over to check if he's alright. Naruto looks tenderly up to Hinata, who's smiling, and says that everything's fine. He just rolled over too much anyway. Later that same day, after Naruto wakes up in the morning and eats his breakfast with Hinata, a Chunin comes rushing by and knocks on his door. Quickly, Naruto is given a summon from the Lord Six Hokage. Naruto tells Hinata after showing her the scroll that he's heading out, and she says for him to come back soon. He said he'll make sure to let her know what's going on, and as Naruto jumps from rooftop to rooftop, a loud clatter from all of the tiles begins to make a loud sound under his boots. As he eventually makes it to the Hokage's office, Naruto climbs the side stairs to the office as a loud thumping he creates on the Hokage's door. We hear Kakashi saying, "Come in, the door's unlocked," as Naruto walks into the room, holding the summoning scroll. He places it down on Kakashi's desk, and Kakashi looks up to Naruto, and then he says, "Naruto, this stone was meant for one specific, very specific purpose." Kakashi says this in a dead serious tone as he then slowly closes his eyes. "And?" Naruto asks, being a bit confused as to what could be so important. "The village council, as well as myself, have decided to send you on a solo S-tier mission." Naruto nods. "And your assignment is to explore and analyze the ruins of Uzushio-gakure, otherwise known as the village hidden in the whirlpool." Kakashi continues, "We have sent some scouts over to our near surrounding territories, and we found this." Kakashi begins to hold up a photo of as dark shapes are moving under the waves. The water near the land of the whirlpools are filled with these things. Kakashi then says, as the chakra that's coming from the evers around there is said to feel and have the same consistency as... Naruto cuts him off. "You can't mean..." Kakashi interjects and says, "Kaguya's chakra signature." We believe that this person, or whatever it could be the remnants of Kaguya herself. Naruto feels a cold sweat drip down the side of his face as he looks at Kakashi with his eyes wide, asking if he's serious. Kakashi nods and says that Naruto is the strongest one in the village right now, and as the hero of the Leaf, as well as the one who defeated Kaguya in the last war. Without knowing the whereabouts of Sasuke Uchiha, this is the only answer that they could give, as well as that if they bring too much of a larger party, their chakra could be noticed as well as detected. Naruto nods as he understands what's going on, and Kakashi looks to Naruto. "Naruto, you don't have to take this assignment if you don't want." Naruto then interrupts him and says that he's going to finish the job. No matter what it is, he'll make sure that he comes back alive and that he's going to bring the news to Kakashi. Kakashi nods and then hands him the mission details as he tells him that he should be leaving around tomorrow morning. Naruto begins to stroll back to his house calmly as he thinks about everything that happened. He thinks back to the Fourth Great Ninja War and the great battle between himself and Sasuke in the Valley of the End, as well as their battle against Kaguya. He thinks back to the sight of the Ten Tails and shivers a bit as a cold breeze drafts over him. Naruto, as he's walking home, then decides to pick up something from the general store. He grabs a candy bar and munches on the way over, and he then throws the wrapper away as he walks up to his door. He unlocks the door and walks in to see Hinata watching TV and just relaxing. As Naruto asks what she's doing, Hinata looks over to him and waves and says, "How is it going?" Naruto laughs as he then sits up next to Hinata, telling her what occurred. "Hinata, I've been sent on a mission. I'm going to be sent out on an S-tier mission to collect the remnants of Kaguya." Hinata opens her eyes wide as she also feels nervous. She feels something stuck in the back of her throat. She turns to Naruto and asks if he's serious. Naruto nods, and Hinata worryingly asks if he thinks he can handle it. Naruto looks down and says that as he tightens the clench on his fist, that he tells her that in order to protect Konoha and protect his family, he looks towards Hinata, as well as his child on the way. He'll do whatever it takes in order to defeat this new threat. Naruto then hears Hinata wish him good luck as well, as Hinata kisses him on the lips, looks into his eyes, and tells him that she'll always believe in him. Naruto nods, and the next morning they wave goodbye as Naruto leaves. Hinata thinks inside of her head that he better come back alive, as Naruto heads out of the Leaf Village. As Naruto begins to walk along the Leaf Village, he begins to open the gate as the Chunin open it for him. Naruto strolls out of the village as he turns around to see the beautiful city that's flowing with the colors of autumn. Naruto thinks to what Kakashi said and then decides that this is going to be a tough mission. As Naruto then climbs up into the trees and starts jumping from tree to tree, Naruto then, after a few hours, realizes that he actually needs to find this Whirlpool village before sundown, otherwise it'll be much harder to track anything. As Naruto heads over to the village of the Whirlpools, he stops at a civilian village in between in the Land of Fire to relax. Naruto then stops in at an inn that he has a quick flashback of. Naruto thinks back to a few years ago, as he sees himself and Jiraiya, his master, walking into this town, as they're currently training during the 3 years before he had come back to Konoha. Naruto sees a smaller version of himself with Jiraiya as they have to walk into this bar, and Naruto looks disgusted, asking why Jiraiya has to do research in the bar. As Naruto laughs, he thinks back to Jiraiya looking at all the girls in the bar. Naruto walks in himself and then looks around to see if he can get a drink. As Naruto gets something to eat and a drink, he overhears a conversation between two of the women of the village. Naruto quickly listens in and hears what's going on, as he hears that there's been some strange stuff going on around the nearby villages. Naruto doesn't interrupt as he continues to listen, that they've seen strange sightings of lightning strikes as well as other supernatural phenomena and strange weather occurrences that they haven't seen in a long time, or ever in fact. Naruto leaves the pub as he heads out of the village and begins to walk in the direction of the Whirlpool village. As Naruto begins to walk towards the village hidden in the whirlpool, Naruto begins to sense this chakra. He quickly stops as he dives behind a tree and sits down, quickly forming his body into the correct shape to turn to Sage mode. He then turns back around towards the other side of the tree, where he can then now see the nature energy. As it seems much clearer to him now, he sees dark tendrils of energy forming around the forest, collecting their nature energy as the trees around them are slowly beginning to die. Naruto begins to head in that direction as he thinks that this darkness must be what's containing as well as causing these strange natural phenomena. Naruto is strolling on through the forest as his boots crunch over the leaves, making a crispy sound through the midnight air. As stars begin to shine over the night sky, Naruto looks up to see the moon, and he thinks back to the time that he and Hinata first, fell in love, when Naruto first experienced and felt Hinata's feelings surreal and experienced and showed them back to her in kind. Naruto smiles as he remembers their kiss on the way down back to Earth after the events of Naruto the Last. Naruto then snaps back to reality as he then senses danger. He deactivates his Sage mode so as to lower his chakra presence and continues forward, each step making his skin crawl more. As he finally sees the actual location of the previous village known as the land hidden in the whirlpools. As he walks into the ruins, he sees bits of stone broken with a large river flowing between the previously grand city. As Naruto walks into the great ruins, he sees an image that makes his eyes open wide, as he sees the leaf crest, his crest, the Uzumaki symbol, carved into stone, shattered in half on the ground. As Naruto looks around, he has his hand out, feeling around into the darkness as he touches the craggy stone. It feels warm to the touch, which seems strange to Naruto, but he continues on. As Naruto moves on, he sees moss and vines growing down the side of gray ironstone buildings. As the vines sway in the cool fall night air, Naruto gets the feeling that someone's been here recently, as the nature energy around this place feels very disturbed. As he continues walking, he sees an open building with a door completely ripped open. As Naruto walks inside, he then gasps as he sees bones. The bones from hundreds of years ago almost crumble to dust as he sees a skull. Naruto realizes that these must be some of the family of the previous Uzumaki clan that lived here. Naruto thinks what it would have been like if he might have grown up here instead of Konoha. What his life would have been like. Would his family have still been alive? Naruto climbs the stairs as he climbs up and hears the old stone floor creaking beneath him. As Naruto walks forward, he then hears a crash as he finds himself falling through the floor onto the ground, as it was too unstable. Naruto grabs his head and then laughs, thinking that was stupid. Seemingly out of nowhere, an eruption of cackling laughter, animalistic laughter, comes out of the night, piercing into Naruto's ears and making him jump. He quickly climbs up to the side of the building and hides behind a stone ledge, where he peeks his head over and sees three ethereal-looking foxes, all with orange, bright fur and some sort of glowing chakra sphere glowing throughout the middle of them, spreading throughout their entire body. As they sniff and laugh as they look around, Naruto realizes that these foxes are actually made out of spirit nature energy, and as he uses Sage mode to sense them, he suddenly deactivates it as they all snap their heads towards him immediately. Naruto realizes that they can sense Sage chakra as well, and suddenly all three of them snarl as they begin to climb the side of the building. Naruto grits his teeth as he realizes he has to fight. At that point, he, in his normal form, punches the first fox that climbs up and immediately turns into nature energy. He defeats the other two as one goes for his leg to try and bite his calf, and immediately as it does so, Naruto does a spinning roundhouse kick, kicking both that one as well as the last one, as they both turn to dust. Suddenly, he hears more growling, as well as hissing throughout the entire old runic civilization. At that point, Naruto climbs up the buildings as he jumps from roof to rooftop, avoiding the hundreds of ethereal foxes crawling around. As he finally gets to a cathedral looking sort of building, he falls down and through the roof as he sits in the rafters above. As he looks down, he sees many skeletons as well as broken glass panes and some images of gods and goddesses that the Uzumaki clan might have worshipped for hundreds of years. Naruto, as he sits there, he turns around and feels cobwebs on his neck. As he turns, he can see spiders crawling around all over, and he winces as his neck veins protrude. Naruto quickly jumps out and lands on top of the roof as he breathes out a sigh of relief. As Naruto breathes, however, he then opens his eyes as a bright light goes shining directly on top of him. As Naruto looks down to what that light could be, he sees that at the center of the Whirlpool Village there seems to be a giant beam of light sparking up and shooting to the sky. Naruto now knows what he has to do as he then rushes over to go and check out what's going on. As Naruto rushes through the stone town, he then falls over a small wall. As he falls, however, the light instantly dissipates, and he stops exactly where it stood. He then hears a light whispering, barely, as if the words were traveling on the wind. Naruto quickly dives inside a house as he then sees the foxes all dissipate from that area, seemingly wandering into the forest and disappearing. Naruto, out of nowhere, decides that he has to figure out who that person was or what it was. As Naruto is walking through the actual Uzumaki village of the Land of Whirlpools, Naruto then finds the old library. Conveniently, the library itself still stands, and most of its research documents are still there. As Naruto walks into the library, he opens the door quietly as a wooden creak can be heard from the old, almost 100-year-old door that had been standing for so long against the weather and rain. As Naruto enters into the library, he opens the door to find the librarian's skeleton still there, standing at attention as if to never leave service. However, there is a kunai protruding from its chest cavity. Naruto thanks the librarian as he bows for all of their hard work and says they can rest now. As Naruto goes to the library and climbs to the second floor, he looks through some of the books to see if there's anything interesting, and conveniently for him, the language is rather similar and it's easy to understand. Naruto reads through as he reads some boring poems and documents, until eventually he finds a reserved section. As Naruto reads through on jutsus that the Uzumaki clan had, including sealing jutsus he never heard of before or seen, Naruto's interested and decides that these might be interesting for Kakashi, as well as helpful for the Leaf Village in the future. Naruto then quickly picks up the smaller scrolls or any of the scrolls he can take and puts them into his distributary backpack so that way he can bring it back to the Leaf Village when he returns. Naruto then senses something strange as Naruto turns around to find a golden path of light, again arcing in the center of the village as if though to mock him. Naruto climbs up the top of the library and then decides that it's better to go on a headstrong approach, as Naruto continues climbing the towers until he's at the tallest part of the cathedral. Looking down, he then sees in the center of the light a strange-looking man. This man was ridiculously tall, about 8 feet so, and as he closes his eye and wincing to see better, suddenly the man's head and neck snap towards him, instantly, almost as if it knew he was there, and he sees a creepily, eerily-like smile protruding from him, as his orange, dark eyes, slit-like, look up at him. Naruto immediately dashes back as he rushes off into the village, hearing cackling and laughter from this beast man. As Naruto turns around, he suddenly sees 3 orange tails rushing after him, trying to grab him. Inside of Naruto feels something, as Kurama is feeling an emotion Naruto had never thought he'd feel before from Kurama: fear. Kurama feels afraid. As Naruto looks to see what's going on, Kurama tells Naruto to run with everything he has and not go back. Naruto asks, what does he mean? Immediately as one of the tails grabs around Naruto. Naruto tries to break free and tries to activate KCM, but as he tries to activate his QB chakra mode, the chakra is sucked into the tail and begins to head on its line back towards its master. Naruto then hears from Kurama and tells him to stop and not activate any of his chakra at all. He'll explain everything to him later. Naruto's confused, but as this tail drags him through the village, he feels his legs snapping on bones as well as bits of stone and dirt. As Naruto makes it back, standing there with the tail completely surrounding him and his arms and ribs, the man lowers his dark black hood as he looks down at Naruto from above. Naruto then hears a raspy voice as this old man, looking as if though he could be hundreds of years old, looks down and smiles and says that he's brought on the last piece to his completement, his puzzle that's been needed. Naruto then feels an odd sensation as the man touches Naruto on the forehead. Suddenly, Naruto can hear Kurama screaming as he feels pain shock throughout his entire body. The seal on Naruto's stomach is beginning to burn, super hot, as Naruto feels his skin melting. Naruto screams in pain and agony himself as the man laughs. Naruto Uzumaki. So that's your name, huh? Perfect. I didn't know one of your kind still existed in this world. Oh, that wouldn't have done it all for my plan. Naruto is confused and has no idea what he's talking about, and then this man grabs his face as he takes his long, slender-like fingers, wraps his long, slender fingers around Naruto's cheek and his chin, slowly stroking Naruto's whiskers as he laughs with his cold, dark red, slit-like eyes. As Naruto looks at this man, he realizes why he was so eerie to him, as Naruto thinks back to that time a long time ago. We see Naruto in the final valley, as he and Sasuke are preparing for their final fight, and as Naruto activates his QB chakra cloak, his first transformation with the QB, into the one-tailed state, Naruto feels his eyes change, as he then sees in the water beneath him red slit-like eyes. Naruto's eyes, now back to the real world, are filled with fear, as he sees this man with the same slit-like pattern that he usually gets when Kurama, or used to get when Kurama was out of control and was angry. Naruto asks what the meaning of this is, as the man tells him that he'll tell him his story before he dies, as he then quickly forms several thousand hand seals almost instantly, too fast for Naruto to catch a few of them. Immediately, the man places his hand on Naruto's head and uses a sealing jutsu. Naruto recognizes this jutsu as one of the sealing jutsu from the scroll he was reading about earlier, a memory transfer jutsu. Suddenly, Naruto sees a bright light as he falls out of this reality and sees his body beginning to change. Naruto wakes up as he sits out of bed and looks around for Hinata, thinking it was a dream. As Naruto turns over, he then sees a man with black hair and eyes that are dark. He wonders why this man looks so much like Sasuke. He looks down at his own hands and looks towards a mirror, where he sees himself with brown hair. Ashura, did you really have to wake me up so early if you're rambling to yourself? Indra wakes up as Naruto turns around to see that this is Indra, the son of the Sage of the Six Paths. Naruto then turns over as he looks towards Sasuke, or Indra as he's being called currently, and Indra is calling him Ashura. Suddenly, Hagoromo comes into the room, and Naruto says, "Gramps, what's going on?" The Sage of the Six Paths looks at Naruto, or his son Asura, and looks him up and down, wondering if he's okay. "Asura, are you sure you're okay today? You seem rather off." Asura rubs his head as he has no idea what's going on, as this is Naruto inside of his own previous reincarnation's body. He tells him he's fine and then gets up as they walk out, seeing the village that they lived in together from hundreds of years ago. As Naruto is walking around with Indra and Hagoromo, time begins to pass for Naruto at a rapid rate. Suddenly, we see Indra and Ashura are fighting. "Father should have given me the power, Asura. I was always better than you. My power exceeded yours in every way. Your ninshu is no match for my ninjutsu." He tells him. Asura, or Naruto in this case, tells him, "Indra, you can't do this. This isn't right. You betrayed father, and me, and the whole village." Naruto realizes that this is exactly what happened with him and Sasuke, as Indara's Mangekyo Sharingan activates, as he and Naruto or Ashura clash. After this clash, Naruto goes on for many years, flashing through the memories, when he awakens to the day that he is married and has his own son. His wife would have bright red hair and would be part of the newer clan of an Uzumaki clan. For himself, this would be a different change, and as he looks down, a few years later, he would have his own son. His son was named Amaterasu, after Atlas. His eyes were meant to see the whole world. Something changed, though, as he then immediately sees something dark and large, a large shadow crossing over their village, as his father, the Seiya Six Paths, had retired and disappeared long ago. Ashura was tired of this, tired of the suffering, and he went to confront the beast himself. This is when Naruto looks up to see that the beast that is actually battling against all of his village and everyone is the Nine-Tails, the nine-tailed fox from this time period. Naruto realizes that he's been sent back in time somehow using this memory sealing jutsu. No, that's impossible. Naruto realizes that what's going on as he loses control of his body. The battle between Ashura and the nine-tailed fox takes place as Naruto battles and takes it down using his own version of the Rasengan that Ashura had learned himself. After taking the fox down, Naruto then turns back to see his son, who was a teenager at this point, almost the same age as him when he would fought in the Great Ninja War. As Naruto turns around to see his son, he then asks what's going on, as Amaterasu is screaming in pain. Naruto sees his arm chopped off, his own son's arm completely destroyed, as Naruto realizes that the fox had ripped it off, and he was now dying. Amaterasu, no, come back to us! As his wife as well as his son are in pain, Naruto knows there's only one thing he can do, and inside of himself he's telling Ashura, don't do it! You can't do this! At that point, then, Ashura takes the Nine-Tails and seals it inside of his son. Immediately his arm begins to heal and grow back, but something else happens. His son begins to feel burning as something inside of his very soul changes. At that point, suddenly a large flash is heard, as we hear laughing, just high-pitched, squeaky, as well as dark, somehow maleficent, disgusting laughter. At that point, Naruto and Ashura's body looks up as an old man, realizing that his battle with his brother would continue on through the ages, and that this trial of hatred would continue on, and that he had brought it to his own son as well. As he dies, he has blood covering him. As he looks around, his wife is covered in blood. As he looks up, he sees his son, Amaterasu, covered with fur, as ears have protruded from the top of his head, his eyes slit-like with 9 tails of fur coating the outside of him. The seal wasn't strong enough. It wasn't the Reaper Death Seal quality that had been placed on Naruto. Father, thank you for this power. I think I'll continue treating the village well, he said as he finishes off Ashura. Many years later, Ashura and Indra would be reincarnated into their own sons, the hierarchy of their families incarnates again, as Madara Uchiha and Hashirama Senju. However, this isn't the end of Amaterasu, as Amaterasu later on will be pursued by the entire Uzumaki village, as well as the Senju clan, as he would be pushed out of the village and cast aside eventually. At this point, this is when something strange happens. Many years later, Amaterasu is still alive with the 9 tails sealed inside of him. After many years, he then, in his old gray form and self, comes face to face with a dark man. He calls himself Madara Uchiha, and says that that beast that he has inside of him now belongs to him. As Naruto from the air can now see Madara Uchiha beating this Amaterasu man, as he uses his own Sharingan to peer inside the weakened seal that his father had given to Amaterasu so long ago to save his life. Madara then uses his Sharingan to rip the 9 tails out of him. At that point, he screams in pain as he feels the very essence of his soul being retracted in pain. At this point, then, the Nine Tails is removed from Amaterasu as Madara leaves him to die, going back to fight Hashirama to prove that he is the one stronger and should be the one leading his kind, and that the Uchiha had screwed up and had messed up in choosing someone else to lead them instead of himself. Naruto, who's looking down at Amaterasu, sees nothing but tears as Amaterasu's tail and ears begin to fade back into himself. He hears a roar of pain and anger. Later on, he then looks down to see something. Zetsu, Black Zetsu, crawls out of the darkness towards this creature, this Amaterasu, the one who is meant to see the world but could only see it through the eyes of the fox. He then gives him some chakra and heals him, feeding him and nursing him back to health, and tells him that one day, if Zetsu, is ever to be defeated, he is to come out of the shadows and revive everything that his dream had stood for. Naruto realizes what's going on immediately, as suddenly he snaps back to the real world, as the red hair and ears, as well as the tail, come back protruding out of Atarasu's body. He hears a high-pitched laughter as the spiritual foxes walking around the entire city begin to crawl in towards their master. He looks down at Naruto as he smiles and then says, "It's good to see you again, my father." And that's the end of Act 1 for What If Naruto the movie, A Leaf on the Wind, Naruto the movie. I hope you guys enjoyed that. This part will be edited out for the overall larger version, so don't worry about that. This won't be in there. But I hope you guys enjoyed that plot reveal. I'll be having some more stuff occurring later on in Act 2 as well as Act 3. Hope you guys are excited for that. The next two parts are going to be a little bit different. I hope you guys are going to be excited for that as well. This has been a long time coming, so I hope it's been worth the wait. Anyway, make sure to hit the like button if you like this video, comment down below what you thought, and subscribe to the channel for more. Next Sunday, I'll be editing all of these acts together into one large movie, so you guys can watch it all about then if you want to. I'll see you guys later, and bye.